Hello everyone and welcome back to a year in the TikTok of FatSapphicBro. So you may notice that I'm not starting out at the top right now. That is because once again FatSapphicBro has put their account on private. I know for a fact that it was public just earlier this week. I don't know the rhyme or reason as to why they continually public and private their account. And honestly, I'm with them continuing to like flip-flop back and forth. To me, it might as well just be public. The one thing that I am keeping in mind, though, is that there's 3 new TikToks that I did not see before, and I don't know if it was after they privated their account or not. So we're starting with where I left off. I'm going to continue this series until they either have their account consistently privated for an extended period of time, in which case, okay, I will respect that. But their constant flip-flopping, it's like I'm not gonna worry about the timing. You know, I'm not gonna worry about the timing because ultimately it doesn't really matter if it's just a matter of like, did I come on the right time of day? Not am I really respecting their wishes because they're just flip-flopping. I'm annoyed by it. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and jump right back into it. This is going to be a shorter video because I'm going to cover a different creator later this week. And I'm sure some of you are getting sick of all the FatSapphicBro coverage. I'm doing this consistently every week because if I don't keep up the momentum, I'm not going to come back for a while and then their catalog of videos is just going to skyrocket. So we're keeping on, and let's just get into it. The sound was muted for some reason, so there's a caption here that says, "Don't worry, at FatSapphicBro, stitch incoming." But the original caption from the original creator says, "When the patient says they have a 10 out of 10 chest pain, and they're sitting on their phone playing Candy Crush."
This shit from doctors is super harmful, and this is the reason so many chronic pain patients don't get help when we need it, because doctors like you treat people like shit because you don't understand what it's like to have a chronic pain condition. As someone who deals with chronic nerve pain, I can be in level 10 pain and hold a conversation. I can be in level 10 pain and look perfectly fine because I have had to learn how to mask the intensity of the pain that I feel every fucking day for the comfort of those around me. And this right here is why people don't get care when they need care. It's irresponsible doctors like this that make it so that chronic pain patients avoid going to the ER when we're in severe acute chronic pain. This shit is harmful. This is why I don't trust doctors, because doctors don't trust their patients to be the experts in their own bodies. Shameful. And doctors like this should have their licenses taken.
Okay, I'm sorry. That last bit, that fucking condescending, shameful. Doctors like these should have their licenses taken away. Okay, I'm sorry, but I gotta bring up the actual like pain scale that is used. So this is the Alina Health Pain Assessment Scale. Not a perfect one-to-one. There was one that I saw that had broken down like what pain would look like at every level. But this gives us a bit of an idea, at least, because I can't find one that's like the one that was posted on the hospital wall that I went to. But I remember reading it because I had nothing else to do at the time. Or I think it was like at a doctor's office. I don't think it was at the hospital. Last time I was at the hospital, I spilled boiling water on my arm and like a layer of skin had melted off. It was the worst pain I've ever been in. And I wasn't reading at the time. But, so it goes from 0, which is no pain. 1 to 3 is mild pain. Pain doesn't interfere with your regular activities. A 1 is you may barely notice the pain. 2, you may feel some twinges of pain. 3, you may notice the pain, but you can tolerate it. 4 to 6 is moderate pain. Pain that may interfere with your regular activities. 4 being you can ignore the pain at times. 5, you can't ignore the pain, but you can still work through some activities. 6, pain makes it hard to concentrate. Severe pain is 7 to 9. 7 is a pain that distracts you and limits your ability to sleep. 8 is pain so intense that you have trouble talking. 9 is pain that is so bad that you can't do any of your regular activities, including talking or sleeping. And then 10 is the worst pain you can imagine. And typically, from what I remember from that pain scale that I saw once, was that had like a really good explanation, is 10, you can't even really answer the doctor's questions because you are in so much pain. Like like it's hard to even process. And I've only experienced probably a level 8 up to a level 9 when I spilled the boiling water on my arm. And the 9 was only when they forced me to, because they didn't have a burn unit, and I had to hold my like still sizzling arm up so they could take a picture to send it down to the burn unit. I was trembling, and I just remember having my hand covering my eyes. I don't really know why, but like all I could do was focus on keeping the arm up and breathing, and that was because the pain was so fucking intense. So I'm not denying the pain that people with chronic illnesses have, but the pain scale is actually meant to be there for subjective reasoning. So if you are experiencing an intense pain, that can still be noted here. If it's like a 7, a pain that distracts you and limits your ability to sleep, or 8, pain so intense that you have trouble talking. But these are like the thresholds that have to be met. If you are having, FatSapphicBro said that he can have a level 10 pain and be talking to someone. Well, then it's not a level 10 pain, because at a level 8 pain, it would be so intense that you would have trouble holding a conversation. So if you are still able to talk and hold a conversation, then you might be at like a level 7 pain. I'm not denying that it hurts. I'm not denying the pain. But these pain scales are here and even have subjective abilities. Like if you are having a hard time communicating because of the pain, then you are at like an 8, 9, or 10. If you are having I think that this comes down to FatSapphicBro, and a lot of people, I've seen this from a couple of people that are like, I'm at a level 10, and it's kind of like what the original TikToker put, that a patient says that they're at a level 10, but they're playing Candy Crush. Then you're not at a level 10 pain. Because when you are at a pain so intense that you can't, like, you literally can't think. When I was trying to have a conversation with, I apologize if you can hear anything in the background, it's very active at my house today. But if you are having a pain so intense, like when I had first gotten to the ER, my pain was between a level 7 and a level 8, and that was with ice on it. That was with ice on my burn. And I'm trying to communicate to the triage nurse, and I'm having a hard time just stringing my fucking words together because the pain that I'm experiencing is so intense. That's the kind of pain that they're talking about. No one's denying that you are in pain, chronic illness and chronic pain. Like that can still be there, and it can be still debilitating without being a level 10. But level 10, 9, 8, these all have like specific thresholds that they have to meet. So to say when you're there, your face isn't scrunched up in pain, you're not having trouble communicating, you're not at the highest levels of pain then. And that's not to discredit your experience. That is the scale that we have. So to say that they need to lose their license and that this is bullshit and this is why they don't trust doctors, I think you are misinterpreting the pain scale, and the doctors can recognize this. There are also a number of people that say that they have a higher pain than they do to get drugs. Like that's an issue. But even putting that aside, if you're able to have a conversation, then you have not reached a level 8 pain yet. Like if you're able to have a conversation, I should rephrase that. If you're able to have a conversation without any difficulty, then you have not reached a level 8 pain yet. It's part of the scale. It's part of the scale. No one's saying that you can't still have severe or intense pain before it reaches, 8, 9, 10. You absolutely can. When I had like the most ice on it and it was more still just a level 7, where I was still able to communicate a little bit better before I had to like lift my arm up and it was try to take a picture and it was exposed to the air and it was like unbelievably painful. A level 7 is still fucking painful. It still hurts like a bitch. It's still a debilitating level of pain. A level 6 can still be a debilitating level of pain. Hell, even the moderate pains I would say are still debilitating, with level 4 being like on the border depending, but like it can still be a debilitating level of pain. But that doesn't mean that it's a level 10.
This person asks, what are your thoughts on shows like My 600-Pound Life and the 1,000-Pound Sisters? TLC profits hella on these shows too. And then they also mentioned Biggest Loser in another comment, and we've kind of been talking back and forth a little bit about all of this. So let's chat about it. I think as a whole, TLC is like modern freak show. I think that they manipulate and take advantage of a lot of various types of marginalized people who are struggling with a variety of things, and instead of offering real actual help, they turn it into a sideshow and profit off of people's illnesses. And I think it's actually quite deplorable. I don't support most TLC shows. I used to like them a lot when I was younger. I can't see them the same anymore. As for Biggest Loser, I was definitely someone who loved the show, loved the coaches, thought that one day I could go on the show, would do the at-home Biggest Loser challenges, and now I see it for what it is. It's an eating disorder. They force people into severe calorie restriction to the point that they are literally starving, and force them to work out to the point that they become physically ill, oftentimes having to be physically sick. I'm emetophobic, so I don't like to talk about the V word, but anyway. And so there's nothing about it that is healthy or mentally sound or physically sound. And I absolutely despise that these shows exist, that any show like this exists. And often even shows that are not necessarily directly related to this. So something like American Ninja Warrior, they love to tout the people who have had extreme weight loss. And it's very gross. Extreme weight loss is incredibly unhealthy for you, no matter what size you are. Rapidly losing weight that fast is akin to having anorexia, and it can cause you to have a heart attack. And it's why so many people from shows like My 600-Pound Life end up dying after getting weight loss surgery, because not only are the surgeries severely dangerous, but the lack of ability to consume enough food, you end up malnourished and you lose weight too fast, and you end up with an unhealthy heart, and more unhealthy than you were when you were fat. They could have just worked on health outcomes instead of forcing weight loss. I could say a whole lot more, but my time's up. Thanks for asking.
It's kind of weird because there is a level here that I actually agree with. I do think that TLC has largely turned into like the freak show sort of channel. There is that aspect, and they have become a bit more manufactured in their drama, and it does feel sometimes like they exploit vulnerable people. I'm not gonna deny that, and I'm not gonna deny that I actively take part in this kind of freak show look, because I do love shows like Hoarders and My 600-Pound Life and that sort of thing. It's interesting. There is a line to be walked there. I'm not going to deny that. I do think that FatSapphicBro is misrepresenting things. Yes, it is possible. I've heard of plenty of people that went on like that bariatric surgery becoming malnourished, and that's why they have a team of doctors to monitor their like vitamin levels and that sort of thing, and give them supplements to help with that. To say that the rapidly losing weight will make them more unhealthy than they were before the surgery, I think is disingenuous and not looking at the entire picture. Sometimes the heart can definitely experienced some negative side effects from these surgeries. Sometimes, like, there are complications to be had, but the people that go under for these surgeries and have to rapidly lose this weight are doing so because they are so morbidly obese that they can't move. So it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off of, you're gonna lose the weight rapidly because you're trying to offset the, like, horrible state of your body as it is. And I find it interesting that they blame the surgery entirely for, like, the damaging to the heart, when in reality it's the fact that they were morbidly obese and their heart had to work so long, and then all of a sudden their heart doesn't have to work as much from the weight loss. Like, there are, like, multiple factors that play into this, you know? Like, I think you're ignoring the variety of factors that are playing into the heart health issue here. Like, you're purposely leaving out other factors that play in to heart health. Yes, I'm sure the rapid weight loss may have had something to do with maybe like a shock to the body or something. I don't know. I want to be clear. I don't have research to back this up. I'm not entirely sure how I would research this exactly. This is just my thoughts based on, like, a common sense look at medicine. Like, it's not from a layman's perspective, because I have no real experience in the medical field. But that's, like, to blame surgery and saying that, like, doctors just don't know what they're doing, basically, because so many doctors advocate for this, and yet it's so unhealthy for the patients. Like, they don't know what they're doing. Medicine, and I've said this before, medicine is largely an analysis of benefit versus risk. And the doctors do the best that they can for their patients by and large. Even on My 600-Pound Life, I don't think Dr. Nowzardan would not push people to have this surgery were it not necessary for them to get down to a healthy weight. Were it not necessary for their health for them to have this surgery. I think that Dr. Nowzardan is, while a bit of a jaded doctor, understandably so, does try to do his best by his patients, you know?
This person says, WTF, that's fucking insane. How the fuck do people even eat meals with a stomach the size of a golf ball? That's fucked. Yeah, that's the thing, they don't. They don't actually eat full meals. It's why after these surgeries, you have to be on very, very strict diets and can barely eat anything because you risk rupturing your stomach because of the size of it. That's kind of the point. It's quite literally a starvation tactic.
Okay, not entirely true, because we've seen plenty of people that overeat with their stomach the size it is, like after the gastric bypass surgery, and they've still managed to gain weight even after the surgery. So it's not like saying that it's physically impossible for them to overeat and, like, all of this other stuff is a little disingenuous, and it shows that you haven't watched the series at all, because people that have had the surgery have overate and continue to gain weight or not lost any weight at all because they were able to get so many calories in. Theoretically, after the bypass, I think the stomach could only hold like 2 to 4 ounces or something like that of anything, liquid, food, what have you. So people eat less, but they can just eat more often and still end up, and their stomach can stretch out again. We've seen that. We've seen that happen in My 600-Pound Life. So that's a bit of a misrepresentation. So I'm sorry, for some reason, TikTok is doing this thing right now where after I pause it, it won't let me unpause the screen. So I had to do this.
Because you risk rupturing your stomach because of the size of it. That's kind of the point. It's quite literally a starvation tactic for weight loss, which is like the most ridiculous way to tackle the problem at hand. Taking the stomach down from its 12 by 6 inches to the size of a golf ball is so horrific to me. And you'll find that a lot of people get sick after eating literally one M&M or what have you. It's pretty bad.
That's not true at all. From getting sick from eating one M&M, not like anything I've ever heard of. That's a bit of a, I don't know if I want to call that a straw man or an over exaggeration or what have you. But that's not accurate. They can get sick maybe after eating an entire package of M&Ms, especially if it's right after surgery. But from eating one M&M is an over exaggeration.
It's definitely tantamount to torture, in my opinion, and I hate that this is something that we do so regularly and so readily.
It's not that that's a misrepresentation of the experience, I think, especially since FatSapphicBro. I find it interesting that they like put all this stuff out, and yet if people with lived experiences, like they so much like to tout as evidence, when people with lived experiences of gastric bypass would tell them that's not how that works, or there's other things going on, I guarantee that they would find a way around it and discredit what those people say. I guarantee it. So, I'm not sure what happened. I'm gonna have to wait for them to unprivate their account again. Somehow I'm no longer following them. I didn't click anything that would put me off. Maybe they discovered my account and booted me. I don't know. Um, but I guess we're gonna have to end it here today. Interesting. I honest to God don't know what happened. Things were going kind of odd with their account, and I'm just gonna keep an eye on their account, and when they are back to public, because you know they will be, I'll refollow, and we'll just kind of continue. But for today, that's where we are. Some quick notes. I finally got past Kaudu's route in Cafe Enchanté, and all I have left is Monsieur, so I'm kind of excited about that. Spring break is the week after next, and I have some classes lined up that I'm super excited about. Glass fusing, rock painting, and pyrography. So I'm really excited about this month's classes that I've kind of lined up for myself. Weight has stayed roughly the same. And I started my next quarter, which already fucking sucks. Who the fuck assigns a 2-page paper the first week, and then like they can't get it up on the learning platform for like the first 3 days, but then guess what? They don't extend the date of the 2-page paper. It was still due like 4 days after they had posted it. God forbid I have anything going on in my life. But I'm salty about that. I'm very salty about that. I got it done. I got it posted. I gave 0 fucks, and it was like, I'll just take whatever grade I get on this one because I'm not gonna stress over it. But goddamn. Anyway, I guess I'm leaving it here. Sorry for the short video. I don't know what happened. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.